I've been hanging on, counting days, thinking it was me all along. Had a million conversations in my head about where it went wrong. And I've got no idea where you've been, who you are, not anymore. All I got is this Polaroid picture of us from June 24th. It's where I kissed you for the first time, laid on your sheets. You gave me your heart and said you trusted with me, but all I did was let you down time and time again. It wasn't my intention, maybe we should have been friends. So, you're someone I used to know, but nobody said it'd be easy. But maybe I should've known. One more drink, just swallow it down. I gotta get you out of my mind. But nobody said it was easy. Maybe I should've known. I've been out till late, shifting beds, trying to kill the image of you. Got a million stupid reasons not to call, it's just that I want to. Do you remember how we pulled the drapes in the basement to get away from the world that we couldn't fit in? And how we used to walk those empty streets at night in the city lights is where I saw you for the last time. Said our goodbyes, sat in the car, you saw the pain in my eyes, but I just couldn't let you down time and time again. It wasn't my intention, maybe we should have been friends. So, you're someone I used to know, but nobody said it'd be easy. But maybe I should've known. One more drink, just swallow it down. I gotta get you out of my mind. But nobody said it was easy. But maybe I should've known. Guitar.
Howdy folks, Vagabond checking in from Chicago, Illinois. I'm at Soldier Field where the NFL's Chicago Bears play. I am most definitely in the back of the building where I'm not supposed to be. In fact, I just broke in a little B&E, broke into the stadium, kind of, sort of, just kind of walked in. Doors are kind of open back here because there's some sort of event going on. Anyway, I made it pretty far in there and made it past a couple layers of security. They asked me if I was there for the event, and I said yes, even though I have no fucking idea what event it is or, you know, what the name of it is. Anyway, they let me through to a certain point, and I was going to see how far I could take it, but then I started to, feel the heat, you know. They were starting to look at me like, oh, who is this guy? He doesn't belong here. So anyway, yeah, Chicago, you know, land of gangsters and bank robbers and corruption and badasses, American badasses doing shit they shouldn't do. And guess what? Breaking into Soldier Field is shit you shouldn't do. It's very Chicago. Baltimore kid breaking into, you know, Chicago's landmarks. It's pretty cool. Anyway, Vagabond. Beautiful. Chicago in the fall, man. You can't beat it. Beautiful. Out. Howdy folks, Vagabond checking in from lovely Chicago, Illinois on a rainy Tuesday from the Biograph Theater here in the Lincoln Park neighborhood of Chicago, Illinois. This is the place where John Dillinger was famously gunned down by the FBI after seeing a movie here called Manhattan Melodrama, which was a gangster film of the time. John Dillinger gunned it down. Right here. You know, when I think of Chicago, I think of some of the biggest badasses in American history. I'm talking Al Capone, I'm talking John Dillinger, I'm talking Babyface Nelson. These guys were killers, obviously, bad dudes, but also total badasses and very American badasses, you know? Yeah, Jesse James, Billy the Kid, John Dillinger, Al Capone, short list of American badasses that I think of when I think of this country. And, you know, our little love-hate relationship with bad guys who do bad stuff, but are also kind of cool and badass and make a lot of money. So yeah, Vagabond checking out from outside of the theater where John Dillinger was gunned down by the FBI in a hail of bullets after he attended a movie with a lady named Anna Sage, who became known as the Woman in Red, because when she walked out of this theater with John Dillinger, the FBI had the place staked out, and she told them she'd be wearing a bright orange dress. The dress was in fact orange, but under these lights, the bright lights of the theater, the dress appeared red. So she became known in the press as the Lady in Red. So she was a brothel madam. And she basically set John Dillinger up, you know. Another man brought down by the honeypot. Anyway, this place is called Victory Gardens now. It is no longer known for its old name of the Biograph, but they still got the sign up there because, as you saw, they've got these crime tours that come around. I was going to do a crime tour, but that shit cost like $40. Fuck that. I Googled some shit. I came here myself for the low price of $0. Don't need to go on any fucking tours, man. So, Biograph Theater, Lincoln Park neighborhood of Chicago, Illinois. John Dillinger got killed right here. Pretty crazy. John Dillinger, total American badass. On a short list of American badasses, true American legends, who did some bad stuff, were definitely bad dudes, but, you know, made a lot of money and said fuck you to the man. And Americans love anybody who can make a lot of money and say fuck you to the man. Vagabond out. About 5 minutes away from the Biograph Theater here in the Lincoln Park neighborhood also of Chicago is this glorious parking lot. Why am I showing you a parking lot? Well, it wasn't always a parking lot. It used to be a parking garage located here at 2122 North Clark Street. But they tore this structure down in the 1960s. And now it's just a parking lot. So what used to be here, why was it so important? Well, this was the site of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, which, back in the day, North Side Gang and Al Capone's Chicago outfit were in a bloody 5-year war. One day, they decided to line up 7 members of the North Side Gang in this parking garage, which used to stand right here, and they gunned them down like dogs. So it was a big deal. No good. Put a lot of heat on Al Capone. So this structure was torn down, unsurprisingly, in the 1960s. So now 2122 North Clark no longer exists. That building is 21220. But the 2122, which used to be a parking garage, the site of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, has been torn down and is no longer there. But the bricks, some of the bricks from that structure, were actually reassembled in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Mob Museum. So when I get to Las Vegas, which will happen probably a long time from now, but on this trip it will happen, we'll go visit the Mob Museum and we'll take a look at the bricks of the parking garage, which used to stand right here at 2122 Clark Street in Chicago, Illinois. January of 1947, Al Capone passed away in Miami Beach, Florida, and his body was brought back here to Illinois, about 30 minutes outside of Chicago, to be buried with the rest of his family in this cemetery. I actually worked in a graveyard for a while, one of my many jobs that I had before I became a YouTuber. And back in Maryland, worked at a veterans cemetery, so the thought of coming to a cemetery just to check it out, it's probably pretty macabre, pretty weird, and uncomfortable for a lot of people, but not for me. I've spent a lot of time in cemeteries, and they're pretty unremarkable. There's nothing creepy about it. Dead people are pretty quiet, pretty respectful. They don't really do much that would bother you. I've never seen any ghosts. I've never seen anything to creep me out. Just dead people, I was a caretaker. My job was to, along with several other guys, bury the dead. And I did that a lot. We did between 5 and 7 burials a day. It was an extremely busy place that I worked at. So, Al Capone's grave. Absolute Chicago legend, infamous bad guy, obviously, but certainly left his mark on this world. And yeah, he's very dead, still dead. In case you guys were wondering, still very dead. If he pops up from that grave though while I'm here, I'll be sure to include it in the video. Anyway, Vagabond Al from Illinois, about 30 minutes outside of Chicago, at the grave site of Al Capone. Chicago. This is as downtown as it gets. I'm on Michigan Avenue. I think this neighborhood is called, like, it's near South Side, by the South Loop, something like that. Chicago. A little tired, so I had to get me a little pick-me-up, a little coffee, which is literally the only thing that I can afford after putting every penny that I made this morning into my gas tank so I could actually get down here and explore a little bit. So, got enough for a coffee. Chicago is a very expensive place. My goodness, everything here costs, well, a good 30 to 50% more than it does anywhere else on the planet. It's pretty fucking annoying when you're broke, but I get it, you know? Chicago. It's a nice place. So, shit's expensive. Coffee good. Coffee great, city cool, people nice, Chicago.
And my little mob tour of Chicago would not be complete without stopping at the Green Mill Lounge, which is in Uptown. And this happened to be Al Capone's favorite bar during his era, the Prohibition era, when he was running around town, getting into all sorts of trouble, doing whatever the hell he wanted. This was his favorite place to come and have a drink. So I thought I must come and have a drink at Al Capone's favorite spot. The bar is cash only, as you would expect from an underground speakeasy type of a joint. Beer was good. Malort liquor. The bartender gave me this free shot. Apparently Malort is a big Chicago thing. He was a real nice guy. Asked him where to get some great Chicago deep dish pizza. He said, screw that. Locals don't eat that shit, so you gotta go to Gino's North if you want the true local flavor, what the locals like. So if the bartender at Al Capone's favorite bar tells you to go eat pizza somewhere, I mean, you go eat pizza there. Anyway, went there. Lovely place. Enjoyed myself quite a bit and had some delicious beer, some even more delicious pizza, which, just my style. I love that thin, New York style pizza. I know that's sacrilege when you're in Chicago and they're all about deep dish, but local guy says go eat here, I go eat there. That's just the way it is. Anyway, yeah, Chicago, Halloween, beautiful.
All right. My friend, what's your name, my friend?
Jerome Austin.
Jerome, how do you feel about Chicago? You got anything you want to say about Chicago? Anything in the world?
This the best city, just like New York, know what I'm saying?
Best city?
Yeah, New York do the same thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like New York and I like Chicago because New York way better than Chicago,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, you can judge everybody what they do, man.
Mhm.
I'm making sense with you, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, man, look, I know what I'm talking about, man. And I said, look, they
Yeah.
see me shaking the cup,
Uh-huh.
I can't get mad.
Yeah, I got you. I'm talking to some real people, and trying to just
Yeah,
get a gauge on the city. I just want to know what this man thinks about Chicago,
Yeah, you gotta ask him, man.
That's what I'm asking you. So,
Man,
you
you
like
gotta-
New York better. You
right.
said you like New York better than Chicago.
I know, I said, I'm born where I said New York just like Chicago, man.
Okay.
I ain't never said I like New York.
Okay. I thought that's what you said. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
New
got way been to Chicago. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm saying that, man, keep doing what you doing, man. Take care of your business.
Yeah.
I'm getting back on my hustle,
All right, my
man.
friend. Go ahead. Go ahead. Have a good night. Real Chicago people.
Well, unfortunately, it's time to leave Chicago. But before I do, I had to stop by Buddy Guy's Legends, which is a little venue downtown. Amazing place. Wish I would have been able to get in there and see a show. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Eric Clapton, all the major guitarists that you've heard of. This guy influenced, Buddy Guy, huge deal, pioneer in the American blues, just an amazing guitarist and a huge part of the American culture.